We're gonna go along the coast for a bit. If we can. We may end up getting spooked by either those weird blue bats that I remember being an absolute nightmare to fight, or another golden ship. But we'll see if we can come along the coast and explore a little bit. Again, we're getting fragments for this, so there's a reason to do it beyond just my strange obsessions. Oh, one of those golden storms. Those can take out your crew. And a swarm of the bats. Okay, yep, nope. Guess we're going north, guys. Get this section of the coast later. Well, we may as well stop by the Isle of Cats and Visage since we had to come up this far anyway. How is the Venturer? Still a rubbery man? He isn't? Are you quite sure? The Lady of Cages rubs her cheek. Maybe that part comes later. I shall have to make a note. Hand her the medallion. Urchins? Again? I'll tell the sisters to prepare the baths. I'll have a reward sent to your ship. Don't worry, I asked the sisters to pick. I can't seem to remember what's edible and what isn't these days. Zara gives a sudden start and demands, "Can you fry wine in batter? I don't see why not." You know, I feel like there are several people at county fairs that have probably asked that same question. She stalks hurriedly out of the room, muttering about asking the abbess. Gain 3 casks of wine. Okay, cool. That'll be good if we need to either go into Nook or if we end up needing it at the Undercrow. I'm glad. This is why we didn't pick up more stuff. This is why we didn't buy the coffee. Our hold is full. Gain 2 supplies. Gained 500 echoes. And 5 caskets of sapphires. Okay, we might be overladen or we either have just enough. Oh boy. Tending the rose garden. Before you is a garden washed with blood, a sea of petaled crimson. They say these particular exile's roses are a variety crossbred with a flower from hell. That would explain the stench of brimstone underneath the sweetness. Winding paths lead to irregular rows of cages, each covered in tangles of thorn and vine. Some of the prisoners inside the cages call out to you. Others mutter to themselves or weep. A few simply stare, hopeless and silent. Good, you're here. Zara snips a rose head with her shears. I'd like a new addition to the garden. Could I borrow one of your crew? Well, have one, really. I doubt you'd want them back after. Could you have heard her correctly? You're not going to leave one of your crew in this nightmarish place. Offer her the irrepressible cannoneer. You should probably warn her about the cannoneer's tendency towards explosions. Offer her the gall-eyed engineer. Well, it's not like he could go much more insane. Haven't even found him. Offer a crewman. You just happen to have brought one with you. Handy that. Or if we have a prisoner. Okay, we do not have free cargo space right now, so we're just going to back out. We're not going to refuse. We're just going to back out for right now. I want to see where that goes, even though it's horrible. Honestly, we have picked up so many trade goods. Like, if you look in our haul right now, if the game decides it would like to let me hold. We are carrying one bolt. We're holding onto the parabola linen for the Venturer, but we are carrying a bolt of spider silk, 2 crates of souls, 5 crates of sapphires. Though we could get rid of all those. We could sell them in London. There might be better places to sell them, but I don't have it all memorized. Yeah, we're gonna return to London, get our hull repaired, and sell some of the stuff. Eventually, we will get further out, I promise. We have found so much stuff this time, it's nuts. Having some trouble just seeing her because of the fog. Just making it more complicated than usual. gain more stuff. Scintillac. Okay. Yeah, we need to sell things. So far, we have not managed to do anything really as the bat. We're going to try the library of parts again. And we gained a lot of fragments for what it's worth. I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way to, like, get further as the bat. Because so far, we just pretty much immediately get kicked off the island. Well, since we've already been to Gator's Mourn, we may as well stop by the Salt Lions. We can at least get a port report, but there's no way we're going to be able to carry the salt blocks to London. We are not going to have 20 free hold space. We could eat all of our supplies and burn all of our fuel, which would obviously cause problems, and we still would not have enough space, I think. Or we would have, like, just enough, but we would be unable to move and starving. Okay, some damage and unfortunately lost a crew. Maybe we pick one up at Debut Island on the way back. Okay, got 2 supplies and 1 fuel. Ah, spider silk. I was hoping for parabola linen. Could go up to Station 3, Abbey Rock, and Mutton Island, because we didn't actually stop at those on our way through, because we were in the submarine forum just exploring around there. So we could grab their port reports. Try to write music, that's a 52%, or the mirrors is a 74. We'll try the mirrors. Yep, smugglers along the shore again. What are we gonna do? Challenge them immediately or wait until we know what they're up to? Wait until we know what they're up to only has like a 50-50, whereas Iron has a 100%, so we're going with that. We're taking their supplies. And we're moving right along. No port report to get there. The Admiralty would probably rather we weren't visiting, but we are. But we, you know, we got some supplies for that. And you know what? We can take on the little crab. Little crab ain't gonna do much to us, even if it hits us. Two damage. Yep, we're fine. A butcher for supplies because they actually almost need to eat. So that actually fixed. That was basically worth a crate of supplies. And we have recent news, and we're already heading back for London, so we may as well give it to them. The muscular prioress, the abbess's lieutenant, comes to the door to listen. She nods and makes notes. She pays particular attention to the news of marsh beast predations and the traffic of the rooftops. In return, she offers a rather perfunctory blessing, but the blessing reassures your crew. So you just lose a bit of terror. It's not anything crazy, but if you're on your way back to friggin' London, you may as well. I'd rather keep the hunting trophy, but watch them for fragments. Yep, compile the port report. And I see a little ship there. Now we have 26 hull. We should be okay against something this small. Yeah, it's the littlest one. Phew. Yeah, that finding that thing made coming up here actually give us more fuel than we burned. That was lucky. I'm so tempted to just get that dang square. We're getting the square. We're getting it. I can't deal with it. Yay! We have so much of the map filled in. That makes me feel so much better. I don't know why it makes me feel better, but it does. Alright, back to London before we run out of fuel. For the world's most embarrassing reason. Right, here we are. Alright, yep. Yep, we'll head to Khan's Heart. Why not? Always get good money for this. And besides, I kind of want to go up to the Undercrow now because we have a Firkin of Prisoner's Honey and Mushroom Wine, so whichever one he asks for, we should be able to give. Brass Embassy. Selling souls. Yep. To literal devils. That's what we do. Selling the Scintillac. I know we could definitely use some of this stuff, but I don't know where right now, and we just can't carry that much, is the reality of it. So unless I have a specific purpose in mind right now, we're just gonna sell it. Enjoy their company so that we get rid of most of our terror. That's nice. And recruit. Just a Zailer, but hey, we can now get a Zailer for very, very cheap. The only way to get him cheaper would be to go to Demugate, which, I mean, we might, but I'd rather take tea with the Factor, to be honest. Alright, well that brings us up to nearly a full hold. However, we're going to be heading north toward the Undercrow, which will also take us up towards Mount Palmerston. And if we're going to go to Mount Palmerston again, probably before we head south, I may as well give him this port report so we can pick up a new one. There. And obviously once we leave, yeah, we're going to have to head to Khan's Heart, and then Mount Palmerston, and the Undercrow, and Avid Horizon, you know, the Northern Circuit. We're doing that again, because we have to smuggle things. That's what we do. Alright, we have nearly a full hold. I think we should be able to hold out until we get to Mount Palmerston. Yeah, 15 barrels of fuel. We sail out toward Demew Island, Pigboat Isle. We could get fuel at Khan's Shadow if we really, really needed to, but go up to Khan's Heart, Khan's Glory, and then Mount Palmerston, the Undercrow. We should be okay with this amount. We have gained so many supplies. And I need y'all to eat more. It'd be kind of nice if we could hold a feast, but I might check to see if we need any officers, like, if we haven't talked to any of them yet, and we could just have dinner. That might be worth doing. Or we could give them 7 supplies and 2 casks of mushroom line. I wonder what this does. That's a lot of our supplies, but you know what? Screw it. We have so many. I want to see what this does. Rest of the Z, the bearded watchman scoffs. Here's where you need to be. We don't talk about the rest of the Z. But a sniveling caitiff draws you aside. I got something for you, he promises. But I'll need some of that good stuff from London. A lot of the good stuff. Visage. None of them show their faces. That's because half of them are snuffers. Know what a snuffer is? The other half don't know. Anyhow, visitors take snuffer faces and make masks of their own. It could be anyone. I could be one. You could be one. Gain 1 strategic information from that. I don't feel like that was worth it, but hey, now we know. Up on the rock. Straight away from him this time. Back down into the rocks. Other than some minor hull damage from where I scraped a couple of the rocks, we're good. We're gonna butcher it for supplies, because we could actually use them now. I don't care that we gained the tiniest amount of terror. We need those. We need those supplies now. Yeah, I think to make hunting those actually profitable, because of the amount of time that it takes right now, we're gonna need a better gun. Ideally an aft gun, but that would require a whole new ship, so honestly just a better gun, a better deck gun would still help. We're gonna head up through Pigmode Isle, Khan's Heart, possibly stop by Khan's Shadow, because we honestly might need the fuel. Even though I'm very much of the opinion that Prohibition doesn't work, I think we have to recommend it, because turning a blind eye reduces might, which we really don't want to have them dropping any lower. Well, hey, we gained 2 casts of mushroom wine, so... Recurring nightmare. Watched. The sea is bright as milk. False stars above are black on a pitchy bed. Something is watching you. Its gaze enfolds your boat. You are transparent as glass. Okay, so the nightmare strength currently, I think, is like 1 or 2. We're gonna try going deeper into the nightmare. The eye wants to learn you. Well, let it. You'll learn the eye in turn. On across the sea. Beneath you, the eye grows wider. The water begins to warm, to steam. Remove your garments. It may soon be time to swim. So, at this point, the Khanate's suspicion of us is getting high enough that we're gonna need to convince the nobility to intercede on our behalf, which means we need to bring them more coffee before we can do much else here. We were able to pick up the Cherry Man's cargo, though, so, hey. Okay, found another abyss up north of Frostbound, and this is a new one. The walls of the chasm are as abundant as a garden, rippling lawns of Posidonia, like Poseidon, I'm not sure. Copses of shadowed kelp, garlands of coral, pulsating with tubular sponges. And here, a vine bearing melon-sized nodules the color and shape of pomegranates. Retrieve and eat one of the nodules. A true sailor will find the taste familiar, it is said. This rite will increase your iron by 10, but increase your iron by 20, but decrease your mirrors by 10. Succeed or fail, you will gain the rite, but failure will increase your terror. We're gonna try it. Because, like I said, I don't really usually find mirrors to be that important. You don your diving gear. The waters of the abyss are fogged with spores. You push through to the walls, pick one of the nodules, and return. Your cook splits it open. It is stuffed with fleshy seeds. You manage 7 of them before feeling intolerably bloated. They taste of oranges and gunsmoke and iron and victory in the gray dawn the morning of a battle, and... Your cook was staring at you. Were you laughing? Alright. We succeeded. And yeah, we actually had to dive because we were running for our lives from a lifeberg, and a blizzard kicked up, so we couldn't move quickly. So yeah, this was the result. We just dove and landed on an abyss. So, hey.